Deep beneath the besieged capital of Kyiv, in a hardened command bunker shielded from the chaos raging across the country, a secret and pivotal meeting took place that would chart a new and far more dangerous course for the war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, his expression a mask of grim determination, met with retired U.S. Army Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, a figure known for his close ties to President Trump and now serving as a trusted, unofficial envoy. Kellogg had not arrived through traditional diplomatic channels. He was dispatched directly by the White House on a mission of utmost urgency to present a strategic framework of a retaliatory blow so audacious it could fundamentally alter the psychology of the conflict. The plan, developed in frantic consultation within the highest level of the Trump administration, was the operational translation of Senator Graham's sledgehammer concept, a blueprint for taking the war directly to the aggressor. The meeting began with a stark assessment of Ukraine battlefield reality. General Kellogg, using intelligence provided by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard's office, laid out the grim truth. Ukrainian forces were outnumbered and outgunned, and their defensive line were at risk of imminent collapse in multi-sectors. Simply sending more defensive weapons to plug the gaps would no longer be sufficient. Russia's offensive had achieved a critical mass that demanded an asymmetric response. The only viable path forward, Kellogg argued, was to stop trying to win a defensive war of attrition and instead inflict unbearable strategic costs directly upon Russia's war-making infrastructure on its own territory. This was the moment, he conveyed, that the United States was prepared to remove the strategic handcuff that had previously limited Ukraine's actions. The core of the plan centered on a sustained and coordinated long-range strike campaign. Kellogg, gesturing to satellite maps projected on a large screen, outlined a series of target sets deep inside Russia. The first priority would be the neutralization of Russian air power at its source. The plan called for a wave of attacks using newly supplied long-range missiles against the airfield in Russia's Belgorod, Kursk, and Rostov regions. These were the base from which Russian fighter jets and bombers were launching the devastating guided bomb attacks on Ukrainian cities and frontline positions. By destroying aircraft on the ground, cratering runways, and hitting fuel and ammunition depots, Ukraine could create a tactical buffer zone, freeing its force from the constant threat of Russian air supremacy. The second phase of the proposed campaign targeted Russia's logistical nervous system. The plan identified critical railway junctions, bridges, and supply depots that were vital for funneling troops, tanks, and ammunition to the front. Tracking these nodes, particularly key crossing over the Don River, would sow chaos in the Russians' military supply chain, starving their advancing armies of the resources needed to sustain their offensive. These elements of the plan would lean heavily on precise real-time intelligence to be provided by the Central Intelligence Agency under Director John Ratcliffe to ensure the strikes were both effective and aimed at purely military logistics. President Zelensky listened intently, his posture changing from one of a beleaguered defender to an energized war leader. For months, he had pleaded with Western partners for the capability and the permission to conduct such operation, arguing that it was impossible to win a fight when the enemy enjoyed a safe sanctuary from which to launch its attack. In Kellogg's presentation, he saw not just a delivery of new weapons, but a fundamental shift in American strategy. He saw a partner that was now willing to share the immense risk required for victory. He immediately grasped the potential of the plan. It was a way to retaliate for the terror being inflicted on Ukrainian cities and to demonstrate to the Russian people that the war was not a distant special military operation, but one whose consequence could arrive directly on their soil. Kellogg made it clear that this new phase of cooperation was contingent on absolute discretion and precise execution. The political cover was being built in Washington by figures like Senator Graham, but the success of the strategy depends on Ukraine's ability to use these advanced weapons effectively and responsibly against military targets. President Zelensky gave his unequivocal agreement. He assured Kellogg that the Ukrainian military had been planning for such a moment and had already identified a list of priority targets. The meeting concluded with a firm understanding. The United States would expedite the delivery of the longest-range ATACMS missiles and other precision-guided munitions. In return, Ukraine would execute the long-range strike campaign that both leaders hoped would not just halt the Russian offensive, but break the back of the Russian war efforts itself. As General Kellogg's departed Kyiv, the war was poised to enter a new, unpredictable, and far more violent chapter. Many of my listeners, like 70%, haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel. And so many of you don't even know that you haven't subscribed. That is actually what makes the show going. It's almost like you're making a donation to the show. So that's why I ask again and again, because it enables us to grow and grow and grow. And we're going for the long haul here. And listen, if this is your first time listening to Sok Hain Rich, you don't have to subscribe. You guys, your first one's on me. But if you have watched this show before, it's like you are a freeloader now. So all I would ask you is, if you have seen this show before and you like it, help me, help my team here. Hit that subscribe and like button now, and we will continue to build this show for you. That I swear. Thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. That's all for me for today. I will see you soon. Bye for now.